like it just barely escapes into the safety of his base. The Warp Spider gets suppressed and has to fall back. Meanwhile, the Knob's taking a bit too much damage over here. Perhaps Tex was distracted at his base and lost 3 of those. That's going to be very expensive for him to reinforce. But meanwhile, purchasing himself a second looted tank. Nebuchadnezzar with an extreme resource. Every time I start to see that, they turn around and purchase something. He does no longer have a nice resource pool. He's decided to get himself a fire prism. Opting for his own Eldar armor in response to the Orc tanks. Although Tex, I think, is a bit of a disadvantage here. He has only 1 Shooter Boy squad left in his Knobs. He will be rolling with 2 tanks. And unfortunately, at the loss of his sluggers with these 2 tanks, it's going to be hard to keep those both with a reasonable amount of armor, considering he no longer has a secondary repair squad. That was really a victory on a couple levels for Nebuchadnezzar to destroy that slugger boys. You can see the orc tanks moving into position here with Knob support. Really just everyone converging here on the Warp Spider, who of course just gets the heck out of there. He did reveal that he has a fire prism by taking a shot at that tank. Unfortunately, it was not the focus beam. And Nebuchadnezzar just locking down the center part of the map here. You can see this is pretty much exactly the setup. Oh, and an Eldritch Storm here on middle. I need to cut myself off and come down and watch this. The tanks did maneuver out. You really don't want to just drop that. The way it expands slowly gives the enemy time to maneuver out of the way. He did get both of his tanks out there, and the mech boy just struggled there in the eye of the storm to take that point. As I was saying in middle, this is just pretty much the setup you don't want to see as Orc. You can see the 3 tiers here. You got the big avatar up front with suppression, and even further behind that, the artillery tank platform that is the fire prism, able to deal with both the tanks and the Knobs depending on which beam it decides to use. So this is going to be a hard position for Tex to break here. And Nebuchadnezzar just locked down. So I think we're about to see a big confrontation here in middle. Both sides really have a good shot at pulling this off depending on who maneuvers where. You can see Tex moving his tanks back and forth, not quite sure which angle he wants to take on with this setup in middle. Knobs moving in. You can see the not quite sure where that grenade meant to go, but it certainly didn't hit any Knobs. They did pick off a Guardian, and he realizes, Nebuchadnezzar realizes he needs to move that fire prism up and away from those Banshees. Or Banshees, those are Knobs. Don't look anything like Banshees. Oh, you can see the super tough beam used on the Knobs, trying to take out the suppression platform. They are completely unaffected by that Wailing Doom with the super tough beam on. No knockdown. Took a little bit of damage, but an excellent use between the battery pack and super tough beam, really keeping these Knobs on the field. Excellent push by Tex. Really got him out of there. Unfortunately, he needs to move these tanks back. You can see he's probably moving both of these together. He really needed to move one up and the injured one back. I don't think it's going to... Nope, the Warp Spider was in there. Couldn't quite see him, but he did take it out. Does fall to the Knobs. Nice little sink kill there. An axe to the face on that Warp Spider, but it was at the cost of a looted tank. Not quite equal terms for Tex there. Whenever you have 2 vehicles there, I know it's instinct to pull just both of them back and get them out of there, but move one up, pull the injured one back. The pathing in this game just doesn't quite allow for 2 tanks to maneuver well in a tight space like this down here. Tex finally upgrading his Knobs with their own Knob and some huge hammers. I'm sorry, some huge hammers. No H's in Orc speak, of course. The Fire Prism managed to knock those Knobs right out from under that Avatar's AoE ability there, and now the Knobs and the looted tank are hunting that down with a bit of Orky vengeance. The suppression gun suppresses them, but they instantly pop their frenzy, taking no damage from the Fire Prism, Grenade, or Avatar in these few seconds. That was really perfect timing. That Shuriken platform's going down. but unfortunately another haywire grenade on that tank. He's going to have to pull that back for the safety of his final armor. Nebuchadnezzar getting himself a Wraith Lord, bringing a second walker onto the field. That's really a lot of vehicle power on the field right now. Orc AV, of course, being pretty difficult to deal, bring down vehicles like this. Tex getting himself a commando squad. I'm not sure exactly what the plan on that is. Probably just trying to sneak around and grab some points. Maybe get some Burna and Daka to hold down the Warp Spiders and keep those away from his tank. You can see the Orc tank just taking pot shots here at the Guardians. Has a little bit of a bruise on it, but the mech boy is going to go ahead and heal that right up. Meanwhile, the Knobs are moving in on this fierce Eldar army. I really don't think they're going to be able to deal with both the Avatar and the Wraith Lord. Both having excellent synergy because he can fire and knock down the Knobs without having to worry about his own units getting affected by that. The Knobs are moving in. Tank coming in behind. This is probably going to be Tex's final stand here. Oh, an excellent Wailing Doom. There goes the super tough beam. The mech boy also has a heal. The Wraith Lord didn't stand a chance against the Avatar. You can see his Cult of Speed user to get this tank out of harm's way, but the Warp Spider is just not giving it a break, moving in with his power blades. Another Shuriken Cannon moving in while the Knobs try to take out this tank. I'm not sure. Oh, it looks like that tank's just barely going to get out of there. Meanwhile, the Knobs did get suppressed, and the mech boy does go down to the Avatar. That is... Oh, the Shuriken Cannon just gets annihilated by those Knobs. Looks like that's the 4th Shuriken Cannon to go down so far. But Nebuchadnezzar really managing to hold on to his position there in the middle. Tex needs just a little bit more to deal with this Avatar. Both the Avatar and Fire Prism are severely damaged. The Wraith Lord went down without really any fight against those Knobs. I'm not sure if he has the red for another frenzy, but he's really just trying to get that VP down so then he can then focus on the Avatar. A Wailing Doom's gonna spread those Knobs all over the place. That tank really needs to move back. If that Fire Prism gets a shot off, it's gonna be a goner. That's what I was talking about with the Slugger Boys being gone. He really didn't have any chance. There it goes to repair that tank. The Avatar does look like it's gonna fall to the Knobs. There it goes. It tried to get off a parting shot but didn't quite pull it off. Nebuchadnezzar calling in an Autarch to quickly take back this point while also freeing up his Guardians to repair that Fire Prism. Some more excellent use by the mech boy to knock that Warp Spider over so he can try desperately to take back these points in the precious few seconds he has before this game comes to an end. Not many points left. He's got a 2-0 cap against Tex here. He might be in trouble with these. Oh, a knockdown. That could be the end for these commandos. Another knockdown. My goodness, that Warp Spider just causing so much damage to the Orc army in this game with those power blades. Commandos moving in, but not going to be able to get to the point. It looks like that's it for Tex. You can see one final shot going off here by the Fire Prism, and that's the game. Commandos just up in the air, getting blasted by that Fire Prism here. That was an excellent game, well played by both sides. Tex just lost his armor there at the end. Really some excellent play though. Couldn't quite get the map control back between the various walkers and the Fire Prism by Nebuchadnezzar. And the Warp Spider Power Blades just dominating the Orc army in general. So, that's the game. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you like it, and I'll catch you guys next time.